madness. So what's up, everybody? It is Monday, January 10th, 2022. And, yeah, you know, so, I kind of was reminded that, when I do these spec matrix things on Drunken Chat, not everybody's going to watch 3 hours of Drunken Chat in order to get to it. So, for you guys who watched Drunken Chat last Friday night, aka Saturday morning, depending on your time zone, you already know a little bit about what I'm showing you here, but there's some additional things that I added into the slides here today. If you did watch Drunken Chat, there's still something here for you. If you didn't watch Drunken Chat, it's a-okay, because I am ULTRAMAXIMUS, and I am here to break down some additional spec for Thor: Love and Thunder. And we're going to talk about some books that may be of importance to you if you are a Thor collector, and if you are into the comic book flipping, speculation, collecting game. Well, you know that sometimes books get hot, and when a book gets hot, sometimes it gets out of reach for some people. Sometimes it's a book that you're sitting on multiple copies of. But anyway, I'd like to welcome you all to this variant edition of the ULTRAMAXIMUS Speculation Matrix. I want you to share this video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you should be. If you're leaving me a comment, it means you're watching this one on a rewind. And if you're not, otherwise, you're liking and sharing the video. So thank you again for doing so. Our soundtracks are provided by White Bat Audio. They provide royalty-free and copyright-free music. Please be sure to subscribe to them on YouTube. Of course, whitebataudio.com. Karl Casey at White Bat Audio. Doing good things on Spotify as well. This channel right here is the channel that you're watching, the ULTRAMAXIMUS channel, where we have 1,000+ subscribers thanks to wonderful subs such as yourself. And for you guys, as you know, we're building the giveaway of giveaways. It's already jam-packed. I mean, this is already a short box worth of books, but the Ultra Box continues to evolve into a massive giveaway. And I'm waiting on some more people to get me some things here, and of course, sorting out some stuff on the channel here. But yeah, ComicBarricade.com, of course, is one of our fellow affiliate sponsors of the station here, even though I haven't actually taken a royalty check from them. ComicBarricade.com, though, helps you keep your books upright. Make sure you do know about that. And of course, I'm going to hook you up. I give you the code ULTRA, you get 10% off your books, or off your comic barricades there. WannaComics.com, of course, I purchased books from these guys for years. Drew is a beast when it comes to comic book offerings. Make sure you follow them on IG, on eBay, and other places. And of course, following me is always appreciated, whether you do it on Facebook, on IG, or Twitter. You can find all those links on the channel homepage. Now, our super chat is not active because, of course, they want me to. I got to give them like a blood sample, a DNA, rights to my second born, which I'm never going to have, unless. Oh boy. Anyway, PayPal.me/UltraMaximus if you wanted to do direct support for the comic book journalism endeavor. That is what I do here. Spoilers afoot. So here we go, everybody. I'm going to be talking about some books that may be spoiling the movie Thor: Love and Thunder ahead, and there's definitely some images and stuff that we're going to share here today. So buckle up. And if you don't know who I am, again, I am the ULTRAMAXIMUS, and I need to thank Eric S. Hurd for this wonderful logo. And let's get into this, everybody. So this is the Speculation Matrix. Speculation Matrix is where I give you an overview of certain books that I believe may be importante to a situation, such as what we got going on here. Thor: Love and Thunder. So, yeah, man. Cover lover, I appreciate all the love and support that you are giving the channel in the live chat here. So, as far as you guys go in the live chat, if you do have any questions about any of the things that I am posting, hit me up. That's why I got the live chat on screen, so I can see it. So let's talk about these books. Alrighty, so here we go. First up, did anybody else see this? So January 7th at 4:42 p.m., the MCU portal reported this leaked image. Okay, so this leaked image right here is kind of important because not only does it show Jane Foster and Thor, well, it also shows a little bit of a armor. And if you guys don't know about this armor, this is how important this is to Thor's lore, that this is like his war armor. So Thor's going to war. Yeah, you know, Rune King Thor, that's, man, if they go full Rune King Thor and they give him as OP Thor as he is capable of becoming, then yes, But it all comes back to this armor right here, and that Rune King Thor on the most current Thor volume. So let me back up for a quick second here. This is Donny Cates's Thor run, but this is a Ryan Stegman variant cover that he asked Ryan to draw. Why would Cates ask Ryan to draw him this version of Thor, of all versions of Thor? We haven't seen this version of Thor since the Ragnarok book. So that was that 6-part series, Thor 70 through 75. And yeah, but first appearance of that armor in that leaked image, of course, is Thor 378, which started to move very much a lot this morning. I talked with some friends this morning about this post, and then a little while later we did see that comicbook.com is finally reporting on it this evening. But I sent messages to some of my other friends like, these guys are too late. Ultra already scooped them. And somebody else already scooped me, obviously, because I picked up the info from someplace else. But nonetheless, so Rune King Thor, aka the War Thor costume, Mighty Thor 378, that is a book that you probably want to be digging out of back issue bins. Now, obviously, okay, if we're talking about Thor Love and Thunder, 80 to 85, there it is. See, I was off by a few. Thank you, Patrick, and appreciate you in the live chat, my friend. All right, so if you don't know about this book right here, this is the first full Jane Foster as Thor. Of course, there's Thor on the mind of Odin in the background, who's watching over Jane Foster as Thor. But we all, of course, know about these books as well. The Thor #1 with the Daughterman cover here. Now, the other variant covers that are out there, obviously the one that she's holding that looks like she's holding something else. Well, that's my favorite. So, there's also this one here, which is actually the first time Thor and Jane actually fight on a cover. I know she's on the cover of 2 on the Sammy variant back here. Like, everybody's like, oh, they're together, right? Yeah, you know, kind of. But this is actually the first cover that they shared together, in my opinion. But it's the 3 of them: Loki, Thor, and Thor. And that's Thor #4 in the Welcome Home variant. So that's a connecting variant for Star Wars. Pardon me. All right, so this past week we also saw weaponry causing massive amounts of speculation. So, of course, if you are into weaponry and speculation, well, this book has now gone back for a second print. So there will be a second print and a second print 1 in 25. I don't know why. But anyway, Mjolnir in the lightning form she is here holding herself. Mjolnir has actually appeared as a person before. Mjolnir impersonated Jane Foster when we had the Jane Foster has cancer story. And here is Jane Foster on the right-hand side as Thor with some kind of spirit bullet or magical bullet in her hand. Shot by a shield agent, because the shield agent thinks that she's Thor, and it's Jane under there. And then Jane shows up, and they're all like, "Oh crap, you're not." So what's really funny is, of course, you have this issue right here on the cover. That's basically the hammer on the cover. They're kind of alluding to that with the lightning, I guess, down there. But at the end of the issue, and this is kind of important, at the end of the issue, the hammer posing as Jane turns back into a hammer. Turns back into Mjolnir, turns back into itself. And then they ask themselves, is the hammer alive as Jane turns back into, from Thor back into herself? Because they just told Roz Solomon, who was another one of Thor's girlfriends at the time, that, this stuff was going on. So they think that the hammer's alive. Because, again, the hammer was just talking to him a minute ago, and then that's a very important question. So as soon as she touches the hammer, it strikes, and then you're taken off into this issue here, which is issue 12. Mighty Thor issue 12 realistically is the origin of Mjolnir. But Thor had the hammer, like Journey into Mystery. So you're not picking up the first appearance of that Mjolnir, that's for sure. But did you guys know how many different Mjolnirs there have been? Multiple! It's crazy, actually. But of course, we know, besides Mjolnir, there's Stormbreaker. But this version of Stormbreaker that we have is not the same version of Stormbreaker that we see in the cinematic universe. It's a little bit different. However, the name Stormbreaker on this weapon here in Hulk 339 is very important. So Hulk 339, 338, 337 with Beta Ray Bill, of course, going to be very important, especially if Beta Ray Bill happens to show up, happens to pick up a hammer. Maybe that's what happens at the end of Thor or Love and Thunder. We get to see, you know, a prelude to that happening. But let's also talk about the first appearance of the Ultimate Thor is right here in the Ultimates issue number 4. This issue, because of, you know, it being the Ultimate Universe version of him, did give us a hammer that is regarded much later in many other stories. Now, there's been this version too, where there's like 3 copies of the hammer made, and then another copy of the hammer made. There's been multiple versions of Mjolnir out there, so we have the opportunity for Thor to return with Mjolnir, as well as Jane Foster, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see those two come up. And then there was a completely new Thor and a new hammer that was once created, and this is in the Mighty Thor 478. So 378 and 478, everybody. Crazy, huh? And then there's this, which is the creation of the Thunderstrike hammer, which is the one that, of course, is given to Eric Masterson so he can turn into Thunderstrike, which at one point, oh my god, I can't believe you guys actually spec'd on Thunderstrike just because you saw Chris Hemsworth wearing a torn leather jacket. Everybody went ham over that. Alright. You guys know what this is? Well, it's an enchanted axe. If you didn't know what it is, its name is Yarnborn. Yarnborn is important because it is another one of... well, right here it even says it's the forged battle axe created for Rune. First appearance of Thor, God of Thunder number 1. There's your Thor, God of Thunder number 1 with the first appearance of the axe on the cover. On the young Thor on the left, and then our Thor in the middle, and then King Thor on the right. It's also a lot of good stuff going on in this Thor God of Thunder series, because this is the Thor God of Thunder series that gives us Gorr the God Butcher. Obviously, I don't need to reiterate the first appearance of Gorr happening in issue number 2. I'm not even going to show you that here because it's pointless, because those books have sailed. Alright, long time ago. But what they just showed you is they said that the Yarnborn is the axe of Rune, and that's in the wiki. And then you see this cover right here for the Mighty Valkyries. Hey, that's my axe. Well, she goes, it's mine now. And Thor's like, gimme! Sorry, no can do. But I had it first. Actually, I did. Well, I had it second, and who's bigger than number 1? That makes sense. I'll give it back. Really? Nope. Totally keeping it. She is totally keeping it. And there's the setup, everybody. So I want you to remember that Yarnborn for a second. As I take a sip. Ah. Okay. So, Yarnborn, as well as the Ultimate Thor hammer that you see there in the Mjolnir on the right. So we have 3 different weapons. Now, the Ultimate Thor hammer is a little bit closer to the Stormbreaker that we get in the MCU. I understand that. But Yarnborn here, the Mystic Hammer, we haven't seen yet. But we have seen this. And of course, the Unworthy Thor may still play out in a different way. But it's still in a way where he becomes unworthy, unable to lift the hammer. Jane finds the hammer. Jane's able to lift it. You know, whatever happens, we'll see. This right here is probably my favorite Jane versus Thor cover, especially because it's Yarnborn versus Mjolnir. And if that's actually how it goes down in the movie, well, we're in for some action. And I do mean that. Now, cool would be yes. Are we going to see the Ultimate Hammer ever show up? I don't know. With the Multiverse of Madness, it does lead to many possibilities. Many possibilities, of course. But that Unworthy Thor number 5, Lineal U 1 in 50, is basically when that version of the hammer comes to the mainstream universe. So here we have what happens with that. Now, Volstagg, unfortunately, was one of the Warriors 3 that was killed by Hela in Ragnarok. Now, could they revive him, give him the ultimate Thor hammer, and have the War Thor show up in Thor Love and Thunder? I don't know. Could they keep it a secret? Yeah, that's a possibility. Double O, good to see you. So, we're going to talk more about this right here, which is the Return of the Valkyries, because, of course, as you guys know, on the left is Brunhilde. That is the classic Valkyrie from the earlier days of the Thor Marvel mythology lore. And then, of course, we have Jane Foster, our new Valkyrie. Thor Love and Thunder is probably not going to give us Valkyrie Jane Foster. I think they're going to explore Natalie Portman as Thor for a little bit, just a little while before she moves on to being Valkyrie. I mean, that would only make sense, right? Like, they would have to have her as at least in a couple of Avengers movies. I really think that's going to be the play. But in the Return of the Valkyries, there is some first appearances in here that are going to be important. I want you guys to pay attention here because it's going to get dicey. There is, of course, you know, the Hidden Gem variant, and of course the Art Germ 1 in 100 incentive. So good luck to you guys on those. All right. But for Jane to go down the path of becoming the Valkyrie, they're going to have to do either Avengers War of the Realms or they combine the War of the Realms with Secret Wars or something along those lines to give us this story. Because she's not just going to, you know, give up the Thor hammer and give it back to Thor and, you know, be like, I want to be Valkyrie. We're going to have to see something play out. But War of the Realms Omega, first print, the incentive, and the second print are all very important to the Valkyrie transformation. But I don't think we're going to get to Jane Foster Valkyrie right away. What do I mean by that? Again, I think that they're going to hold on to her being Thor for just a little while longer, just because it makes more sense for them to do so. And I don't know what Natalie Portman's contract currently looks like right now, but this will eventually be where we head to, I believe. But first, I want to remind everybody that there is, of course, the Jane Foster Valkyrie #1 Hidden Gem variant, which does show, you know, her journey. Jane Foster Doctor, obviously over there in the morgue. And then the Hidden Gem portion of that is actually a throwback from the Thor 136 you see on the right, where Odin made her immortal to be wed to Thor. So good luck finding that one in high grade, right? But Valkyrie. Now, there's a lot of debate when it comes to what I'm about to show you here, and I want to clarify for you guys why I believe I've got this one nailed down. So here we have a Valkyrie. She's unnamed, right? You know, there's a couple good variant covers, and don't get me wrong, these Exiles variant covers were based on the Tessa Thompson character, right? But Tessa came out looking like this for Thor Love and Thunder. When I saw this, I immediately knew that there is a better translation of this character, and I'm sorry to say, everybody, as good as the Exiles character, you know, appearance was, and I'm sure the secondary market, everybody went crazy because they're like, oh, it's the Thor character adapted, you know, but it wasn't. This is, you know, this is one of those situations where there are multiple characters based on the MCU version, and if you actually go to the character wiki, you'll see what I'm talking about. This, however, is the first appearance I think you guys should be interested in, because I think this is the one that is closer related to our MCU version of Thor. I'm sorry, MCU version of Valkyrie. So, yeah, so this right here shows Return of the Valkyries #1, continuing after Jane Foster Valkyrie, or Valkyrie Jane Foster #10, but this one shows an unnamed Valkyrie and her first appearance, and that's her right there on the cover. Not only is she there on that cover, she of course is on the design variant there on the right hand side. Now, hear me out. Take a look once again real quick at that Tessa Thompson, because I'm sorry. That totally is the version that is in the Return of the Valkyries here. So we're looking at a version of Valkyrie that is based off of the movie version, but there was another version that was put into a multiversal, aka non-616, aka non-mainstream Marvel universe. I'm going with this one because I think this is the better adaptation, and I think Yarnborn is going to be a pivotal role in the movie going forward. But again, Return of the Valkyries #1 has the Noto variant here, as well as the second print homage variant, as well as the other high ratio incentives I saw. But this is slam dunk, guys. I mean, really, take one more look. Let's flip it back, right? Okay. I mean, down to the braids. So this could be, you know, Patrick, the second print could be winners, but a lot of the other variants could be winners too, because she's clearly there. Now, here's where it gets crazy. She's not named. She's in this book, but she's not named the entire miniseries. They go the entire miniseries showing this off. Here's the Sousa Black History Month variant, which was an open order variant, and then they finally named her later on, but it was much, much later. It wasn't until the Mighty Valkyries #1 hit did they actually give Runa her name, but there's Runa right now on the Daughterman variant cover, sharing the cover with Jane Foster, of course. So the theme through this Mighty Valkyries reboot was about establishing the name of Runa and a little bit more of a background story. So obviously the Mighty Valkyries is where she first appears, but then you're going to have the argument of people, oh, she's not named until later. So hedge your bets. Get the Mighty Valkyries #1 as well as the Return of the Valkyries #1. But circling all the way back to this thing right here, this kind of concludes a little bit of what I was thinking earlier, that they're going to set up Yarnborn as going to be the weapon that they give Valkyrie, and it's going to show that this is Runa, the Valkyrie that they specifically wrote this elaborate story for, because the Mighty Valkyrie set her up. It was a 5-issue miniseries. So also in that miniseries, they did give us this high ratio incentive and open order Pride Month variant, which, you know, is cool. But the issue 4, where she's doing the is it though? Is it though? So Mojo Quid, this is the reason why I believe this to be Runa, because in the movie she has not been named. There are sites that automatically assume that she was the same Valkyrie that we know, the blonde-haired Brunhilde. She's not Brunhilde. And we know this now. We know her to be Runa. So I'm waiting for that to actually be, you know, done in the movie, hopefully, for it to be even, you know, more confirmed. But here we go. Again, Thor is the rightful owner of this axe. Is he, though? That issue right there, that cover, I think is just amazing for the meta. But you know what, guys? I hope you know that some of this information you could have seen Friday nights on Drunken Chat, 11:30 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you're checking us out over there. And then oh, look at that. Subscriber mode is a scam. Do you know how hard it was to find an account that subscribed to you? Well, thank you for stopping by, Impressible. Appreciate you doing that. But don't forget, again, Friday nights, 11 p.m. Central. Come check us out. Check out also these other people in the Future Channel section. Make sure you are, of course, checking out and subscribing to all their content. And don't forget to subscribe over here, because over here we got the next episode of the Wednesday Night Comic Book Presser, which will be in 2 days and a few hours probably. I'll probably do it late night. And then, of course, the last episode of the Secret Variant showed last night. That is the FOC show, where you should take a look at all the stuff that went on Final Order Cutoff. And then, of course, if you guys had been following my pickups, you would have seen some of the spec coming. My pickups and mail drops on my Raw Report video, so you should check those out too. And then, of course, the Marvel Legacy second printing homage variants and the Marvel Hip Hop variant platinum list. If either of those videos go viral, guys, that's like a year's salary for me, and that just means I can make more Spec Mix content. So just keep that in mind. Sharing my videos could allow me to stay home to do more content for you. So I appreciate you watching. And as I dive 7 viewers all at once, I do want to say thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the spec below. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you later.